transition that and work with the two of those together, doing yoga, meditation, plus the personal growth to go with that.
Whew, so I think they all intertwine.
Sure.
They all complement
But
each
they're
other.
missed. I mean, they're not usually followed that way in most of the community.
Yeah, and I think I learned a lot of that from my work with Lululemon and following a similar model where it's not yoga then personal development. Like yoga is personal development. Meditation is personal development. A lot of people think that, the common response I will get to someone that hasn't meditated or tried, they'll say, I can't meditate. My mind never slows down. My response is always, nobody's does.
No, yeah.
And it's not about
It
not
doesn't.
thinking. It's actually about maybe noticing what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And on a deeper level, it's actually about digging to the root of the problem and pulling it out and healing ourselves.
Yeah.
Whatever's getting in the way, which typically has started with some thought,
Sure.
which has maybe created a story that has maybe even become our truth.
Yeah.
And so I believe that they all intertwine. We can sit there on our yoga mats and go through an amazing class, but to be able to actually process it afterwards and journal, or just during class, ask a couple questions. And then at the end of class, ask them again and write on them.
Yeah.
And the power of journaling comes alive and is complemented by the yoga and by the meditation. And to me, they just all intertwine with each other. And then if like in a retreat experience, we get to share.
Yeah.
So we share in a safe
that's
space.
That's equally as powerful. I talk a lot about that, like how it's so necessary to get out of your head about it then and actually share it out loud. One, then you're hearing others talk about their experience, but also, and then I think it kind of allows that connection of feeling human in what you're dealing with yourself. But then also it's different hearing it come out of your mouth versus what you're thinking, and then it gives you, for me at least, it gives me a whole different perspective about it.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of what I experienced in your retreat as well.
there's so much truth and power to all of what you just said, and I like to do that type of work. I like to observe it and see and know that if we look at even self-compassion and the components of mindful self-compassion teaches us, the three main components are self-kindness, which we all struggle with everywhere I teach,
Sure.
all these retreats, all this work I do, the common
So
theme,
easy to judge ourselves.
we don't love ourselves
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Everybody struggles with that. So self-kindness means putting that supportive arm over your own shoulder like you would a friend who's struggling. The second piece is common humanity. And that's the connection of knowing that we're all flawed works in progress. And part of being human is we're going to go through stuff. We're going to suffer. So when I hear you share, and my perception of you is you've got it all together. And then I hear you share like, oh my God, you're going through that too.
Yeah.
So it's actually what connects us all.
Although that's a nice way of thinking it.
Yeah. It's what
It's
connects
usually not
us.
even what we're really thinking. It's like, oh, he's just as whatever as me. Is like,
But I think about at my very rock
Sure.
bottom, lying on my couch, not being able to get off my couch because I'm just so derailed from anxiety and just the depression of it. And I thought I was the only one going through this. So it was like, poor me, I'm the victim. I'm so self-absorbed in the story of it that I don't think anybody else is going through it. But actually, there's a lot of people going through it. So it's actually what connects us.